It was a busy weekend on Ball State's campus. Tonight on NewsLink Indiana, we have the latest after 2 reports of shots fired.
Plus, there are 2 new additions to the Muncie Police Department. We'll introduce you to the newest members next.
And today began our trend of much cooler temperatures, a high of only 70 degrees today. I'll have my full details and weather coming up later in the show.
From Ball State Unified Media, this is NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Cameron DeBlasio.
And I'm Brittany Irvin. Thanks for joining us. Well, Meijer has announced a recall of several products over fears of a listeria outbreak.
Yeah, that's right, Brittany. The company says the contaminated items could be fatal to young children, pregnant women, and people 65 and older. The recall is for a variety of Meijer brand vegetables, including broccoli, cauliflower, and asparagus. Products sold between September 27th and October 20th are at risk of being contaminated. Meijer is recalling these products from stores in 6 states, including Indiana, and the retailer says no illnesses have been reported at this time, and there is a full list of recalled items on Meijer's website.
An accident on an Indiana campus over the weekend has left 1 man in the hospital. A man visiting Indiana State University was shot in the leg when a handgun in his pocket unexpectedly fired. Police say it happened around 9:30 last night. The man was taken to a hospital in Terre Haute for treatment before being transferred to Indianapolis. The university says his injuries are non-life-threatening but will require surgery. Police say no one else was hurt in this incident. And Ball State also had a very active weekend. 2 sets of emergency alerts were sent out, one on Friday and another on Saturday. Both alerts were sparked by reports of shots being fired on West Rex Street, just east of Ball State's campus. The first alert came Friday night at 12:22 a.m. from the 1000 block of West Rex. 17 minutes later, UPD said there was no ongoing threat. Saturday's alerts came just before midnight, this time from the 1400 block of Rex. NewsLink spoke to residents who say despite the recent activity, they still feel safe living in the area.
I still feel pretty safe. Like I don't think anything like that has happened, at least since I've been here. So,
I mean, I was out with friends and stuff, and we needed to go home, and I still was like, okay, as long as we're together, like I think we'll be okay. So I never really felt unsafe.
A Ball State student has been arrested after hitting a child with his car on campus. 22-year-old Jalen Miskell was taken into custody Saturday evening after police say he hit and seriously injured a child in a parking lot on Tillotson Avenue. Authorities say Miskell's blood alcohol content was .212 at the time of his arrest, more than double the legal limit. The child was taken to Riley Hospital in Indianapolis and listed in fair condition as of today. Miskell faces a preliminary charge of driving while intoxicated, causing serious bodily injury. He was released from the Delaware County Jail on Sunday after posting a $5,000 bond.
1 in 4 women will experience a domestic violence in their lifetime, and those between the ages of 20 and 24 are most at risk, Cameron.
Yeah, that's right, Brittany. And NewsLink Indiana's Esther Bauer is live in the newsroom now with how one student organization is looking to combat this issue. Esther?
That's right, guys. October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and while many steps have been taken to empower those affected, the epidemic is still among us. In fact, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, every minute 20 people are victim to intimate partner violence. But that's not stopping one student organization from being a resource to better inform students on this problem. Step In, Speak Up is a club that strives to combat, educate, and provide awareness on issues of sexual assault and sexual violence on Ball State's campus. This semester, students have received many emails about sexual assaults reported on campus. And while many may see that as a negative, event coordinator Althea McWilliams says this shows survivors are making their voices heard.
Thankfully, a lot of our survivors are reporting, so that's why Ball State's numbers seem to be going up, but in reality that's great because then the survivors are going to get the help they need, they're going to get the health care, the mental health care, and they're going to be they're going to be assisted through the process of recovery.
Now, the club hosts various events on campus aimed at getting people to take a pledge to say something when they see something. It's through speaking up that McWilliams thinks sexual assault can be diminished.
One person actually steps up and does something, then the crowd usually will follow. So one person having the courage to step in and intervene between 2 people in any scenario will usually draw a crowd and prevent any more danger from that individual.
Now, this week, the club will be holding 2 events on campus, one on Wednesday in the Student Center and one on Friday at the Scramble Light, encouraging students to write what love means to them and taking the pledge to step in and speak up against domestic violence. For now, live in the newsroom, Esther Bauer, NewsLink, Indiana.
All right, Esther, thank you. Well, a new police officer is about to hit the streets here in Muncie, but this particular officer, Brittany, has 4 legs and a tail.
Wow, doesn't sound human.
No, not at all.
Well, Rachel Russell had a first look at this officer's special training.
The Muncie Police Department is training a new addition to their staff. Canines are very helpful to police, as Robert Wells, head of the K-9 division, shared.
Shooting, stabbings, shots fired, stuff like that. Any high priority call where we think we could use a canine, we just respond to those.
The officer directly working with Race, Chase Hunter, is practicing locker searches, scenario training, finding hidden suspects, and more.
It's hard on him, it's hard on me, it's hard on the dog until everybody starts gelling, which they're definitely at that phase now.
A dog-trainer relationship is an important one for success.
He's learning just like I'm learning, so when we're both kind of, if I get worked up on something, he gets worked up, and we're back to square one, so.
The Muncie Police Department understands that a K-9 can accomplish the same work an officer can in half the time in many circumstances.
We're going to have 2 on each shift. We're going to be able to take everything and do it ourselves, so it'll be nice to actually get them out there and work.
With only 60 more hours of training to complete, Race and Hunter are looking forward to being released for patrol. In Muncie, Rachel Russell, NewsLink, Indiana.
Well, on Friday, the Muncie Police Department swore in another officer. Now, this one doesn't have a tail and stands on 2 legs, but Cameron, it's just as cute.
Absolutely. Brittany, NewsLink Indiana's Michelle Kaufman has more.
6-year-old Grayson Ryan may only be in kindergarten, but he has his own time frame for how long he's been in Muncie.
I've been at Muncie for 32 years. and I've been at Indiana since I was born.
Officer Michael Mueller heard about Grayson and knew his family recently moved to the city.
Grayson was a very enthusiastic young child who's interested in law enforcement, and he'd done a lot of things with the communities where he's from, in Bloomington and other areas of the state. It would be great to introduce him to Muncie the right way.
What made you want to be a police officer?
I want to help the innocent and arrest the bad.
Dennis Tyler signed a certificate making Grayson an honorary police officer.
I hope you're dedicated to being a Muncie police officer.
Yeah, I am a Muncie police officer.
Because it would be an honor for us to have you serve our city.
After meeting the mayor, Grayson was sworn into the department.
I, Grayson Ryan,
Grayson Ryan,
promise to enforce the laws of the state of Indiana.
After the ceremony, Grayson handed out goodie bags and got a quick workout in before attending roll call with his partner for the day, Officer Chase Winkle. The 2 got their assignment and did a traffic stop in the parking lot outside City Hall. Grayson has his uniform and memories from his special day, even though it may be hard to remember his oath.
And protect and serve
the
citizens of Muncie. The citizens
of
Muncie.
I said money.
Congratulations.
In Muncie, Michelle Kaufman, NewsLink, Indiana.
So cute. You can follow Grayson on Facebook at Grace Police Appreciation Adventures.
Yeah, and I love that story there, Brittany, but I tell you what, I wasn't too much of a fan of this weather today. It turned very cold very quickly.
Very quickly. I don't think anybody was a fan. So, Ethan, what can we expect for the rest of the week?
You know, Cameron, I absolutely agree with you. I'm not a fan of this weather. I personally like a lot warmer temperatures than what we've been dealing with today. We only had a high of 70 degrees today, and that was just before 1 a.m. today, believe it or not. So we've been dealing with temperatures mainly in the 60s. We do have rain on the radar right now, and that's going to be the story throughout most of my forecast. All the details coming up in my full weather.
Well, Cameron, the nation has spoken, and they're eating more chicken.
Yeah, that's very true. Brittany, after the break, we'll tell you what the nation's most popular fast food restaurant is.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I've just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a
Todd. Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Well, a new survey over the weekend says there is a clear winner for America's most popular fast food. NewsLink Indiana's Connor Miller has the story.
According to a joint survey by Business Insider and Foursquare, Chick-fil-A is the most popular eating restaurant for 39 out of 50 states, including Indiana.
The study released last weekend used data from Foursquare check-ins and looked at which chains received the most visits on average per location in each state, divided by the total number of locations per state. These results left the United States map maroon, showing Chick-fil-A dominating the country. Rebecca Cowan, marketing director for the McGalliard Chick-fil-A, says the results make sense and that the employees at her location work hard to make sure people want to return.
We want to be a destinational restaurant. We don't just want to be a convenience play. We don't just want to be, oh look, there's Chick-fil-A, I guess we'll go there. We want to be, yes, let's go to Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. And that's something that we have become. And I think the huge reason for that is because behind those counters, we train our employees to love people.
However, many fast food chains and fast food fans aren't convinced. Assistant Professor of Marketing at Ball State, Rebecca Van Meter, says that such convenient sampling methods, such as those using the Foursquare app, make it hard to generalize to the total population.
I wouldn't say it's an ineffective survey. I would say that it gives you an idea of the most popular places for people who use Foursquare, but you also have to look at the demographics and those who use Foursquare. So are those who use Foursquare representative of the population at large? And if we're specifically talking about the United States, then does it have a nice dispersion of people across all different age groups? My guess is no. I don't know. You'd have to look at that specifically. But that's one thing that would make it not holistically representative.
Now, regardless of this survey, the American Consumer Satisfaction Index found Chick-fil-A had the highest ranking among fast food chains, followed by Panera Bread and Papa John's tied at second. On McGalliard, Connor Miller, NewsLink, Indiana.
The full study results can be found at businessinsider.com. Well, Ball State University's Marilyn K. Glick Glass Center is getting in the Halloween spirit by giving back to the community in a very unique way.
Yeah, that's right, Randy. Now, historically, Muncie is known as the city for the production of ball jars, and participants were able to use similar techniques to create one-of-a-kind glass pumpkins. Participants worked with hot glass and fire to make a Halloween decoration of their own. Minnetrista's Jamie Grove explains how students were given this opportunity.
They paid at Minnetrista, and then Minnetrista hired graduate students that are here at Ball State getting their master's in fine arts and glass. So they're the ones running the workshop, and I'm just here kind of facilitating things and making sure people feel comfortable and are safe and having fun.
Well, what can we expect in weather, Ethan?
Well, we will have some more cooler temperatures and we'll be dealing with some more rain, even though we've already have been dealing with that today. All the details coming up after the commercial break.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Well, Cameron, at first I was upset about summer temperatures. Now I'm upset about the rain.
Yeah, we just have not found that happy medium yet of
Exactly.
fall, Ethan. So I guess my question would be, are we going to be seeing that anytime soon?
You know, we already started this trend yesterday, and it's just going to continue as we go into the next few days. But we will have a slight warm-up during the middle of the week, but I'll get to that in a second. But for right now, we're sitting actually at a really comfortable 50 degrees out there, a west wind 10 miles an hour, and with a low dew point, it actually does feel like 50 degrees. So if you are outside, have an umbrella with you so you don't get wet. 48 degrees in Indianapolis, 50 degrees in Kokomo. Good evening, Lafayette. You folks are sitting at 50 degrees. And Champaign, you guys are at 54 degrees right now. Today we had a high of 70 degrees, and believe it or not, that was actually just before 1 a.m. Temperatures actually felt closer to our average high of 62 degrees, and our record high in the state set back in 1963 was a very nice 82 degrees. Now here's the story. We're going to be having some rain. This is Tuesday, 3 a.m. It's going to be very on and off throughout the night, and that's going to be the same story as we go into tomorrow. So if you're heading out to class early, I would have a jacket and an umbrella with you. But here's 10 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have a break, and then here's this more defined line of rain. This is Tuesday, 3 o'clock, and that'll be coming in tomorrow night around dinner time, and that'll be the majority of the rain that'll be happening tomorrow before it moves out beginning on Wednesday and Thursday, making way for some nice weather after that. We have had about a ½ inch of rain so far, and once Tuesday gets done, we won't add too much more to that. We'll have around 0.62 inches in terms of accumulation of rain, which has actually been really well needed for Muncie. Tonight, 47 degrees, winds out of the west, 8 to 10 miles an hour. You can expect some on and off rain, but besides that, not too bad of a night out there. Just a little bit cool. And then for tomorrow, out in the commute, we'll have our yellow light because we'll be dealing with some rain chances along with some clouds. 8 a.m., 51 degrees, 50 degrees at 9 a.m. And notice how as we get later in the morning, it's actually just going to be getting cooler after that. And then tomorrow, like I mentioned, temperatures are just going to be in the 40s. Our high tomorrow will be in the morning, and 49 degrees at 3 p.m. tomorrow with winds out of the west-southwest between 10 and 15 miles an hour overall throughout the day tomorrow. And then on our Thursday night football, 56 degrees against Toledo. Overall, not too bad of a night out for football, but have a jacket outside with you on Thursday night for some action. And then for our 7-day, notice on Wednesday and Thursday, these are our nicest days, but Wednesday is going to be cool, 49 degrees, and then 62 degrees, the warmest day on Thursday. And before we get into the weekend, we'll be dealing with some rain on Friday and Saturday. And Saturday, or late Friday night and into Saturday, looks like the best chances for some rain right now along with those cooler temperatures.
All right, well, we'll keep our eyes on that, Ethan. Thank you very much. And now, Sam, turning to sports, Ball State golf is on the move this week.
Yeah, kind of interesting. So coming up in sports, we'll talk about the Ball State men's golf team is spending a few days on the East Coast, looking to bounce back from last week's Invitational. We'll talk about that and more next in sports.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With a unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back. I'm Samantha Johnson with tonight's NewsLink Indiana Sports. It was another tough weekend for Ball State football, taking a loss to Central Michigan on Saturday, 56-9. The Cardinals now sit at 2-5 on the season, 0-3 in MAC play. But the squad was back on the practice field this morning to start preps for Thursday's game against Toledo. The Cards are plagued with injuries, including starters like Riley Neal and James Gilbert, but injuries aren't the only aspect hurting the team's success. The only player to put points on the board in the past 3 weeks has been kicker Morgan Hagee, and the defense has allowed 142 points against their last 3 opponents. NewsLink Indiana caught up with Coach New and quarterback Jack Milas this morning to get their thoughts.
Tells me that our attitude is where it needs to be. We're dying to get it fixed, and we're going through some tough times here, but I love that we don't finger point. I love that guys just come out here ready to go to work, and we're going to get through it. You know, we just have to keep fighting that way, keep believing that, and making sure it's still positive around here. Yeah. And hey, we have what we have. You know, we've had some injuries, but that's no excuse. That happens to teams at every level, so we just got to fight through that stage, and we'll get where we want to go.
I mean, we're all in it together. Though they haven't been what they wanted or what we wanted it to be, but I mean, we just got to stay together and keep going. It's not like anybody else is coming through that door that's going to help us out.
The men's golf team is in Powell's Point, North Carolina at their second to last event of the season. The Cardinals are hoping to bounce back after a couple consecutive disappointing performances. Men's golf concluded day 2 of the ODU OBX Intercollegiate Tournament at Kilmarlock Golf Club. The Cardinals entered day 2 of the Open at 3rd place overall of the 18 competing schools. Jack Cunningham led the Cardinals with a score of 137 on the day, coming in at 5 strokes under par. The Cardinals were able to jump past Old Dominion University and move to 2nd in the overall rankings. Here's what Coach Mike Fleck had to say about heading into day 3.
Much of the same. You know, we have to get off to a good, solid start and play the front 9 well. It's the harder of the 2 9s, and you know, make sure that we take care of our scoring on the par 5s and the par 3s, and you know, put up some birdies to match everybody else that you know, probably is going to be doing the same thing. So just continue to do what we're doing.
And finally tonight, with one game left in the regular season, the women's soccer team is looking to close in on first place. After their tie against Akron and Kent State's loss on Sunday, the Cardinals trail the Golden Eagles by a single point in the MAC standings. Head coach Craig Roberts is impressed with his team so far this year and hopes to continue their championship legacy they've created.
Obviously the hard work and dedication and the commitment of both the players and the staff have been able to, enable us to get that accolade of winning it 3 straight years. Obviously we're really proud of that, of just our consistency and representing Ball State and just, continuing this championship culture that we've created.
So guys, obviously Craig Roberts and his women have been so successful over the past few years. Hopefully they'll be able to finish out the season as successful and grab another championship.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sam. Good luck to them. All right, but up next, Ball State's most famous alum was honored over the weekend. That's straight ahead and trending.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow. Oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Indiana. Well, right now, let's take a look at what's trending.
Yeah, joining us now is NewsLink Indiana's Alicia Ruggs. Good evening, Alicia.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good.
Good to be happy to be here.
Well, on Saturday, DJ Khaled celebrated his youngest son, Ashad Khaled's birthday by throwing a jungle-themed birthday party. The baby mogul stole the show in his $2,000 suit, Jordans, and a golden throne as if he was king of the jungle. The party had live dancers dressed as animals, a baby valet that let the kids test drive miniature luxury cars, and of course, many celebrity appearances. But the event wasn't just for celebrating, but also for giving back. Any donations people made for Ashad were to be sent to the United Nations Children's Fund.
Very cool story there, Alicia. Now, what else do we have happening?
Well, last night, David Letterman took the spotlight as he was honored with the Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize for American Humor at the All-Star ceremony. After accepting the award, Letterman stayed true to his humorous tone while taking time to show his thanks to his friends, family, and comedians who helped him along the way. Letterman, known for his roots in comedy, seamless interviews, and newly striking resemblance to Santa Claus, is now the 20th recipient to receive the award. The ceremony will be broadcast by PBS in November.
All right, thank you very much, Alicia. Now let's take one final look at weather, Ethan.
We will have a few cooler temperatures coming over the next couple days, a slight warm-up on Thursday before more rain comes this weekend.
All right, thank you very much. Well, that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 right here on Cardinal Vision or online at ballstatedaily.com.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and go ahead and follow us on Twitter. Have a great night.